What's up, guys? Ron Harris here, MD Online Editor. Before I start the video, please, if you like the video, give it a like, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, share the video if you like it, please. And of course, if you're not already getting notifications, hit that notification bell and make sure on your phone in the settings, notifications are enabled. So I want to do this video because I was thinking about how big this Mr. Olympia coming up is. You know, everyone always says, every year they say, this is the best Olympia ever. And we've been talking about this. Actually does seem like it's going to be the best Mr. Olympia in a very long time. But I've already figured out that regardless of how the show turns out, who wins, whatever, this will be the most men ever on the Mr. Olympia stage since the contest started in 1965. How many guys we have in the show? Well, there were 35 qualified. Shall I read them all? Big Ramy, Brandon Curry, Hadi Chupan, Hunter Labrada, Nick Walker, William Bonac, Ian Valliere, Andrew Jacked Chinedu, Blessing Awodibu, Samson Dauda, Rafael Brandeo, Antoine Vaillant, Tonio Burton, Hassan Mustafa, Justin Rodriguez, Charles Griffin, Mohammed Shaban, Joel Thomas, Mohammed Ansur, Vitor Boff, Andrea Presti, Michael Krizanek, Leandro Perez, Theo Legarrere, Beruz Tabani, Akim Williams, Derek Lunsford, Patrick Johnson, Vlad Suhorochko, James Hollingshead, Angel Calderon Frias, Sean Clarita, Steve Kuklo, Regan Grimes, Nathan DeAsha. Now, we already know 4 of these people are definitely not in the Mr. Olympia. We know Sean Clarita just announced he's going to 212 Olympia to get his title back. Steve Kuklo is out. He's making a baby. Regan Grimes decided to sit this one out, get better for next year. Nathan DeAsha has torn, I think, both biceps. He's out. So, and Angel Calderon is a mystery. He's a question mark to me. I don't know. He's qualified, just like Sean Clarita. He had won an open show last year, as well as a 212 post-Olympia. So he is qualified for the, actually, I think he was 4th in the Mr. Olympia, in the 212 Olympia. He's qualified for both, and I don't know offhand if he's doing it or not. I should have done some investigating. So that's 35. Let's just take Angel out. Let's say Angel's going to do 212. That's still 30 men qualified that we're going to see on the Olympia stage. Most men we've ever seen in the Mr. Olympia was in 1991 when it was in Orlando, Florida. That was the first Mr. Olympia I ever went to. Lee Haney won his 8th title and retired. There were 27 men on stage that year. We've had 20, 21 a few times. We've had low 20s many times, but we've never had more than 27. In 1991, that was 31 years ago. So we're breaking a record. You know, this contest has been going on since 1965. So we're breaking a record here for sure. Also want to go back in time and let you guys know how much smaller the Mr. Olympia used to be. Okay. Began in 1965. Larry Scott was the first Mr. Olympia. He won it 1965 and 66. And then he retired at like the age of 28 or something because there was zero money. I don't even know if they got any money back then. When Larry Scott won, there were 3 people in the show. So he had to beat 2 guys to be Mr. Olympia. 2. 3 men in the first Mr. Olympia. Next year, 1966, we're all the way up to 4 men in the Olympia. Wow. 1967, Sergio Oliva's first win, 4 people in the show. 1968, nobody showed up to beat Sergio. So 1 person, 1 man in the Mr. Olympia 1968, Sergio Oliva. 1969, it was just 2. It was Sergio and Arnold. 2 men in the Mr. Olympia. That's it. 1970, 3 men. 1971, 1 man again. This time it was Arnold. Interesting story with that. There were 3 other men. It was Franco Colombo, I think Sergeant Bray, and someone else. They were supposed to compete, but they had competed in other organizations in the year prior or something, leading up to it. They had competed in shows that weren't IFBB, so they were suspended. They were all allowed to guest pose. So you had Arnold was the only competitor in the Mr. Olympia, and the 3 guys that were supposed to compete against him all ended up guest posing, doing exhibitions. 1972 in Essen, Germany. Wow, now we're all the way up to 6. 6 guys in Mr. Olympia. Biggest Mr. Olympia ever up to that point. 1973, 2 men again. Wow. Yeah, 2000, the year 2000, there were 13 men in the show. That was kind of a lower point for the modern era. 2002, we did have 25. That was another big year for the Olympia. But up until now, 27 was the largest lineup on stage at the Mr. Olympia, and that was 1991. And like I said, right now, taking those 5 men we took out of the equation, there's still 30 men that are going to be on the Mr. Olympia stage. 30. So this is a new record, the biggest Mr. Olympia ever. We've definitely had more contests, more pro shows this year, I think, than ever before by a wide margin. Let's go to the phones, as I used to say. Let's see what you guys think. Surely you think something, right? So let's go to your channel, is the MD channel. I always like, this is why I do the lives, guy. I like to hear your feedback, I like to hear your opinions, whether you agree, disagree. We're not really, this isn't really anything to argue about. It's me, TC. Well, you're still kind of on topic. Evening, Ron. It's evening wherever you are. Hope you're good, yes. Any predictions from you so far? Now, either upsets in higher placing or lower placing than expected. Would you say Rami to retain if on? Yeah, I believe that's all I'm going to say. If Rami is, even 90%, he wins again. He wins again. I think, he wins again. He wins again. I think, time to shut the volume off. Yeah, I mean, anything can happen. Brandon could get his title back. We could see one of these newer guys, or even one of the more established guys. He could lose his title if he's off. I don't see him being off. He's got Chad Nichols, who's figured out the formula with Rami. He's got Dennis James every day supervising his meals, his workouts, his posing. I don't see Rami losing this year. It could happen. Anything can happen. But these predictions, they're so meaningless, guys. They're just meaningless. Frederic Coulomb, the question is not who will win, but who will get second, because Rami will get his third title. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Kevin Clements, good afternoon, Ron, from Miami. My daughter lives down there now, Miami, Florida. I'm all set I love the Boston area. I'm not leaving. But, I feel bad for a lot of these guys. And I only say that because with 30 men, it's not, people will always say so-and-so got overlooked. It's really hard to have, call-outs with everybody next to everybody, and everybody gets compared to the top guys when there's 30 guys on stage. So first call-out is generally 5 or 6. You don't want more than 6 guys in a call-out. You really don't. So do the math. 6 times what? 6 times 5 is 30. So there's going to be a first call-out. There's going to be second, third, fourth. Somebody's going to be in that, some group of guys is going to be in that 5th call-out. And they'll probably, a couple of them are going to look awesome. Shredded glutes. You can be like, oh my God, that's the last call-out. Yeah, this is Mr. Olympia. This is the toughest show in the world. Kevin Clements, I think it's Rami's to win and everyone else is vying for 2nd through 16th. Yeah. There's going to be, that's another thing. I don't think we're going to see any placings after 15. It'll be everybody's just 16th because there's no time for that. Call of Duty Warriors, fan from India. Shout out, Brew. You mean bro? Okay, Call of Duty Warriors over there in India. What's up, dude? 1 billion people. You have 1 billion people in your country. That's a lot. That's even more than, I should think you in China. I don't know who has more people now. Missy Truscott, Olympia Fitness Olympia champion. Appreciate you being on the chat, Missy. Says, Derek is looking insane right now. Still 4 weeks. I can't wait to see him next to open guys now. I think Derek, top 3. Derek's not missing anything. He's enormous. He's round. He's full. He's getting lean. I think Derek is going to be way up there. So the people who are saying like he's going to be like 10th place, nah, keep smoking whatever you're smoking. Where can I get some? Let's see. Our stuff. Do you know if Hadi has arrived? He's okay. Yeah. Hadi's actually been here for over a week, I think. Maybe 2 weeks. Yeah, if you follow the Evogen Nutrition page, Hani Rambod's company, and Hani is his coach, he's been posting photos and videos of himself with Hadi, with Derek. Hadi's been here for a while, so he's all set. Nick Trigilli did a video a month or so, 2 months ago, saying Hadi's in trouble. He's never going to get a visa. Well, guess you didn't have to worry. He's here, guys, so don't worry about that. Hadi is here. Freddie Klum, if I have to pick one to win except Rami, Brandon Curry, man. He's the only other guy up there that's an Olympia champion. He's won the Olympia before, and he was very close to Rami last year at the judging. Very close. I think they were only a point or 2 apart. He's definitely capable. People are talking crap because they say Brandon hasn't been posting as much. Look at the stuff he has been posting. Brandon looks pretty freaking great right now. A lot of people wrote him off after the Arnold because he was not at his best at the Arnold. A lot of people, including me, I thought William Bonac should have won that Arnold Classic. I thought Bonac should have beat Brandon back at the Arnold Classic. Issue was he only went over to Kuwait for like 9 weeks or something before that. And he needs to be his best. He needs to be in Kuwait a full 16 weeks for prep. You know, Brandon's not a guy who bulks up and all that. He sort of stays smaller and healthier, if you know what I'm saying, most of the time. And when he goes over to Kuwait, that's when he steps on the gas and gets bigger and ripped at the same time. Recomposition, he grows into the show. And he's been there for a long time. He's all set. Don't worry about Brandon. Let's see. How did he arrive last weekend? Missy Truscott, top 3? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't either. Missy, I wouldn't be surprised if you win another Olympia title. You're damn good. Kevin Clements, Derek's new video a couple days ago was a real eye-opener. I was overlooking him. Yeah, see, we've never seen Miss Jen here today. Yeah, Jen is actually taking a very well-deserved, much-needed vacation for only a few days. So Jen's not around. I hope she's enjoying her vacation. Just started today. But Derek, man, Derek has a fullness and a roundness that he's never had before. Or at least we've never been able to see it because he's always been fighting his weight, trying to get down to 212 for the Olympia the last few years. He's been in the 17, how many years has he done it? 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. He's done the 212 Olympia 5 years in a row now. So for 5 years in a row, he had to be 212 or under. Now that that limit is taken away, he can be as heavy as he wants. We're seeing so much more fullness and roundness. I don't know what he weighs now. If I had to take a guess, he looks to me like it's probably a good still 230, 235 right now, I'm going to say, if I had to guess. Yeah, Kevin says, Derek is very, very dangerous. Call of Duty Warriors, what about Nick Walker? Yeah, Nick's dangerous too. Nick's put on good amount of size since last Olympia, and waistline seems to be very much in control. You know, this is what I'm saying. This is going to be a hell of an Olympia. Especially the judges have their work cut out for them because, geez, look at the names we're throwing around. How good these guys look. You got Rami, you got Nick Walker, you got, geez, these new guys. I mean, how's Andrew Jack going to look up there? We got Bonac is looking crazy right now. He had an all-time high body weight of like 265 it was about a month ago, maybe 6 weeks. I mean, he's looking nuts. He's working with Chad Nichols. Samson, 13222, bunch of numbers. Can't wait to see Nick, Derek, and Hadi staying together. Yeah. Amuz says 240s from his YouTube. Yeah, he looks every bit of it. Derek Lunsford in the 240s. I believe it. I think he's going to hit the stage, if I had to guess, somewhere around 230. And that's a massive increase from anything we've ever seen from him on stage. We've never seen him over 212 all this time. Can you imagine? We're going to see this guy with another 20, 25 pounds more muscle, with at least as good condition, if not better. You know, Hani's a condition fanatic. Hani is going to bring him in peeled. I never worry about Hani's clients coming in shape. You don't have to worry about that. He makes sure it happens. Frederick Coulomb, Andrew, in the next year or two, he will be maybe the next Mr. O. Yeah, I don't think this is his year to win. But because I keep saying this because I don't think this is his final form. You guys, we're in November, okay? Going until early March, he was an amateur. Andrew Jack was an amateur when this year started, 2022. He turned pro early March at the Arnold Classic. Two pro shows, he just blew away. Texas Pro, Arnold UK, just dominated those shows at like 80% condition. Or was it 76.3? I'm not sure. It was something like that. So if he's that good at, 80%, imagine him at 100%. But I do think he needs to fill out a little bit more mass. Not much. He doesn't need much more. But that's not his full potential, I don't think, what we've seen. Come on. He literally just turned pro earlier this year. And, a year ago, he was just some guy on YouTube and Larry Wheels videos like, oh, this guy looks really good. I wonder if he'll ever compete. And now he's in the Olympia, Crazy. Who's your bet for first call? Oh, too many to choose from. Che Howell, Andrew Jack is too old. He's over 40. Sorry, there's another time. I don't think he's that old. I don't think Andrew's over 40. I think he's, I want to say like 36. But, he's young in the game. It's not like when we see a 40-year-old guy who's been competing for 20 years, that beats the shit out of your body. All the gear, all the dieting over all those years. He's very young in the game, Andrew. So he's not like let's say he is 40, which I don't think he is, but he's very young in the sport. He hasn't put his body through years and years of competing and preps and beating it up with all the harsh chemicals and dieting and all that. He's still kind of very much fresh compared to most of these guys in the show. Let's see. Andrew Jack's too old. Sun Sin, do you think Samson is going to hold the new muscle? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Samson has made tremendous progress. I'd be very surprised if he's not in the first call out. But again, look at all these crazy names. This Olympia is stacked. So he might not be in first call. He might be. He might very well be. It's just, you can only call out so many guys, and there's, when they all come out, we're going to see who really nailed it on that day. And the judges are going to take note of that, and that's going to be there. Obviously, they're going to call Rami out. He's a guaranteed first call out no matter what. He's Mr. Olympia. But after that, things can go so many different ways. Another Samson. This is really Andrew's introduction party, not his winning show. Same with Samson. Yeah. Frederick Colum says he's 37. Yeah, 37, Andrew. That's not old at all. In bodybuilding, that's not old. Especially considering he just started competing this year. He's brand new. He's fresh. So, consider him like 27, really. Raymond Jones, Brandon and Sean are both 40. Yeah, I knew Brandon. Sean, I just interviewed. That interview's up on this channel, the Sean Clarita interview that we did late last week, and he announced his 212, that he's returning to the 212 Olympia on Wednesday morning at 10. That was yesterday. Yeah, geez, time flies. Kevin Clements, the Crezo hype seems to have slowed down, but watch out, he too could vie for top 10. Oh yeah, he needs a little more back, a little more glutes, whatever, but he's a monster. We'll see. I wouldn't be surprised either way. If Crezo doesn't make top 10, I'd be like, well, next time, next year. But if he does, I wouldn't be too surprised either, because he's got so many crazy, freaky body parts. He's got a pretty damn good physique, Crezo. The Slovakian. Chehal, my bad, but 37 now turning pro, that's too old in my opinion. Yeah, that's your opinion. You're entitled to your opinion. Yeah. There's guys turning pro 50, 60. At the Masters Nationals, they have I know this is not related, but at the Masters Nationals, they have an over 70 class. So every year, some guy who's 70 or older turns pro. That's too late. I'm sorry. What are you going to do at 70, 73 years old with a pro card? Good luck. You could say, well, before he died, maybe you can put it on your tombstone. I guess that's what I would do. Who are your top 5? Ask me in like a couple weeks. I don't like making all those predictions. I don't, because, what are you judging it on? You're judging it by their Instagram update pictures, and some people look so great in their Instagram pictures. They take a picture, they have this one doorway in their gym with the sunlight coming in at 4:22 p.m. every day where it looks perfect. They get a good pump and they're veiny and they look like, oh my God, that's Mr. Olympia right there. But at the show, they might not look as impressive. I've seen this happen so many times. Or another thing to consider is all these guys look fantastic on their own, but you got to put 30 guys that look incredible all on stage together. Somebody's going to be first call out, second, third. Not everyone's going to do well. This is a competition. This is not like in America where everyone's a winner and everyone gets a freaking participation trophy. No. At the Mr. Olympia, you're going to have a first place, second place, all the way down the line to 15. Then everyone else is going to be tied for 16th. Kevin Clements, or Sun Sin, who would you like to see in the top 5? What would I base that on? Just physiques that I like personally more than others, or people that I happen to have more of a personal relationship with. I know them, so I'm rooting for them. I definitely want to see Derek in the top 5. I guess I could talk about who would I really like to see in the top 5, just because I know how hard they work and all that. Oh, man. God, there's so many. Oh. So many guys are going to get overlooked. Not overlooked. Let me take that back. They're not going to do as well as their fans hope they will, because it's a competition. And 30 guys in the show, or let's say it goes down to like 28 or 29 by that point. Maybe a couple guys drop out or whatever. Kevin Clements, Ron, my grandson is 21. Wow, Kevin, you must be older than me. Has been lifting for 7 years. He told me the other day he's getting pressured by 2 or 3 guys at his gym to start gear and do a show. He told me he doesn't want to do it. I told him it's okay not to do it. Yeah, dude, that's horrible. Don't talk to these guys anymore, you know? Wow, that's crazy. But, you know, no one's going to hopefully nobody puts a gun to his head and said, inject this now. Don't inject in your chest, guys. Bad. Inject this now. That's better. I told him it's okay. Yeah, that's rough, Kevin. Why can't he just do a natural show? They have drug-tested natural shows pretty much everywhere. Like my son, he wants to compete probably next summer. He'll do a natural show because he has no interest in using gear. And I don't want my son using gear. He's not that he's a child. He's 23. He'll be 20. Yeah, by that point, he'll be almost 24. He'll still be 23 next summer. But no, there are natural organizations for people who do not want to use gear. And I don't encourage people who are natural to do non-tested shows unless you have the most incredible genetics and you can beat all these people on gear, which I've seen, or you just want to do the show. You want to prove a point. I don't know how good you can look that you can hang with these guys on gear, but it's like going to a gunfight with a knife. Yeah, these people have a huge advantage over you if you're not on gear, you know, unless you're some genetic phenomenon, which there are those people. There's not many of them. Let's see, Andrew or Samson. I don't know. They're both great. Samson in the top 5. Yeah, I could see Samson. I wouldn't be surprised. You know, some of these names, and I'm not being this is not to be a jerk, but let's say like some of these names of people I've never heard of. Like there's a couple guys, they turned pro at Brazil because Brazil had a ton of shows this year. And every open bodybuilding show was a qualifier. If you won it, you could be in Mr. Olympia. So we have a couple guys like, I'm just using them as an example. This isn't, you know, Leandro Perez, Victor Boff, both from Brazil. I'm sure they're good. Actually, I remember Victor. He's thick and all that, but I mean, good luck. This is a hell of a lineup. That's a top 5. Okay, he might do a natural show. Kevin, good. Perfect. Yeah, I mean, why not? You get the experience, and then you're not up against a bunch of juice heads. Jack, Derek, 6 and 7, by the way, I'm an old fart. 62. Oh, you're not as old as I thought you were. You must have started having your kids young. If you're 62, you're only 9 years older than me. I don't consider myself old, Kevin. You know, I hope I make it to 62, God willing. You never know. But I don't think I'll consider myself old. I don't feel old now. Rajat Sharma, Blessing has more potential than Andrew and age factor. He's definitely younger. He just turned 30. So that's what? 8 years younger? What did we say he was? 38? Andrew? 37. 7 years younger. I don't know. I think I wouldn't say Blessing has more potential. I think Andrew has a more complete physique right now because he's really not missing anything. You know, Blessing still needs more legs. He still needs a little more legs to balance out his upper body. So right now, I would give the nod to Andrew at the Olympia. And, you know, I love Blessing. I just did an interview with him yesterday. Good dude. When I talk about these guys, it's never personal. It's the physiques. It's never personal. I could think you're the coolest person, love you like a brother. If your physique sucks, I'll say your physique sucks. If I think you're a human piece of garbage and all this, but you have a great physique, I'll give you credit for your physique because we're just talking about physiques. Let's see. Alberto Montejo. Andrew, one and done if he comes in shape. Don't shoot the messenger. Personal communication, color meals. Yeah, it could happen. Stranger things have happened at the Mr. Olympia. Rami could get beat, guys. It's possible. Anything can happen. You know, it's not likely, that scenario, but you never know. Who's your top 3 coaches? Oh, boy. Hani Rambod, George Farah, Chad Nichols. I don't know. There's so many. Matt Jansen's awesome, a great coach. There's so many great. There's probably about... Milos is a really good coach. I don't know, man. I mean, if you go by Olympia titles, Hani has over 20 Olympia titles to his credit. He's helped 20 people win Olympias, different divisions. So if you go by that, it's Hani. But then, you know, go by pro cards or something. There's all different ways to go at it. Kim Clements. Yeah, my wife and I had our first, my son Colby, when Liz and I were both just turned 22. Oh, that's not that young. I mean, it's young, but it's not. I thought you maybe like in high school yet started having kids. Because, yeah, I mean, I was 24 when I had my first child. My wife was 23. Yeah. Yeah, so we weren't that far behind or that far ahead of you. Think Brett Wilkins is rushing his career? No. I mean, he's like 34. Time flies, and, you know, every year that goes by, you're a year older. So it's not like you have time to just chill and relax and do this at your own pace. you kind of have to make it happen as quickly as possible without being overly risky to your health or destroying your physique by getting too big too fast and blowing out your gut. But I mean, no, I think Brett's doing exactly what he needs to be doing. You know, considering he turned pro as classic physique a few years ago, and he's been adding mass very steadily since then. He never competed in classic though. Damn right about that, bro. Kim Clint's not from what I've seen in the last few updates. Rami looks incredible, quite intimidating. Yeah, I mean he's this wide. he's a freakishly huge person. Good structure, X frame, small waists. So yeah, that's very tough to beat when it's in condition, and I don't see him being out of condition. He's looking pretty damn good right now. Rajat Sharma, Samson, Blessing, Andrew Krizo will revive 90s level of fierce competition, mass, aesthetics, and conditioning. Yeah, I mean, out of those two, I mean, I wouldn't say Andrew's very aesthetic. I'm sorry, Krizo, but Andrew is, Blessing is, and Samson. The three Nigerians in the show, which we've never had anyone from Nigeria on the Mr. Olympia stage before. No, Victor Richards was never in the Mr. Olympia, guys. He never did a pro show. We've never had a Nigerian man in the Mr. Olympia, and this year we have three. So good job, Nigeria. You're cranking them out. But they all have a great blend of size and shape. They're aesthetic and they're big, all three of them. So it's a whole new era. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's it, guys. We'll talk more about the the actual show in more of these. I'm sure we're going to be getting closer to the competition. It is 4 weeks from tomorrow, the Mr. Olympia. A lot of Olympia information available at MrOlympia.com. That's where the tickets are sold, all the schedule, all that good stuff. MrOlympia.com. Also, if you go to Qualified, the tab that says Qualified, it'll show you everyone who's qualified for all the divisions. And you'll see some of these divisions are like 50 plus people are qualified. It's 50, 60 people. So it's going to be a long weekend. The judges, man, I feel for them. They have snacks and water bottles, they'll be okay, but it's a lot of athletes are going to have to get through. Raphael's very aesthetic. Yeah, that's true. Nick Walker's cracking top 3 this year. Says Aditya Bokaria. Kim Clones, okay, Ron, a safe weekend will be beautiful. Yeah. Sean is also looking great. Sean Clarita, are you talking about? Is there another Sean in the open? Sean, I don't know. We'll be red light. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate it. And yeah, as we get closer and closer to the Mr. Olympia, we'll be talking more. I'm going to try to get interviews with as many of the name guys as possible, as I always do. And yeah, we're gearing up. It's our big Super Bowl. It's our huge event for the year, the Mr. Olympia. You know, the Arnold's a big deal, but the Mr. Olympia, it's like another level for us. That's the end of the year where we really try to pull out all the stops, give you guys the very best coverage. Myself, Giles Thomas, coming up from UK for first Olympia for him since 2019. He hasn't been to Olympia since 2019 because of COVID and all that, but I haven't even seen him since the 2020 Arnold, so I haven't seen Giles it's going on 3 years in real life. I see him on, Zoom and stuff like that, but it's not the same. So that's it, guys. We'll talk later. We'll do more of these because I like interacting. I like hearing what you have to say because you're the fans. Without you, there would be no sport of bodybuilding. You're the ones that support all this, and that's it. So thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Talk to y'all next time. Bye-bye.